Back with closing trades right here in 80 now. Just monitoring what the closing is looking like right now. BEL, that of course has been the star performer. Actually, pick up any defense stock and that's been holding up well. Astral as well is looking good by about 3.6%. Outside of that, some of these telecom infrastructure plays are looking very smart. Nikunj has been highlighting as to how TTML has seen an appreciation of just about 40% in the last two trading sessions. Tatacom, of course, has been a very, very strong performer too. So all these stocks are showing a fair amount of buoyancy. I just spotted a block deal on Bharti too, while Bharti is still struggling around that 735, 736 odd level, but it's an uptick nonetheless of 1.25% that Bharti is sitting on today. 736.50 is where that stock price is. But let's shift focus and let's talk about what's happening in Inox Leisure after their FY22 annual report. They're extremely confident of pursuing an expansion strategy. We're looking at a pipeline of A34 additional screens after FY23. So let me welcome on board Kailash Gupta, the CFO at Inox Leisure, then joining in on the show right now. Kailash, hi, afternoon. Welcome to ET Now. If you could just highlight what exactly is the breakup of how many screen additions we're likely to see starting off from this fiscal, and what could be the total screen count then by the end of the year?
Good afternoon. We started this year with 675 screens, and we have already added 27 screens by now. So we are at 702 count as of now, and we plan to add another 50 from now to before end of this fiscal year. So the year is likely to close with 752, and post this financial year, we are likely to add another 800 screens. So more or less 100 screens every year additions from next year onwards. That's what we have a plan.
I just wanted to know what sort of F&B sales, what sort of average ticket prices are you seeing right now? And I'm asking why, because there has been a series of not such great content that we've seen from, across the industry. Many films have not done well at the box office.
Certainly, I mean, we are seeing the pressure on the box office revenues at this point of time. And, typically this started from this quarter itself. So we had the best quarter in the last quarter was the best in the history of Inox. But at the same time, the current quarter, the box office is not performing as per what we envisaged in the beginning. So we are seeing a pressure on ATP, but SPH is maintained actually. So SPH is something where we are seeing a traction from the people. People are coming and buying the food. We are seeing more and more conversion with the limited people who are coming to the cinema. But SPH is maintained, at the Q1 level. But ATP certainly we are seeing some pressure because of the low footfalls, and the movies are not doing so great.
Are not going as per expectations. How much is the deviation according to you?
Deviation is certainly, I mean, we are seeing, quite a significant impact in Q2 in the last 2 months, which is just closed, and but the content has not supported, and that's a primary reason of, the movies have not done well. But from now onwards, if you see the September itself, I mean, we have a two big movie, which is the Brahmastra and Vikram Veda, which is coming on the 30th of September, and followed by bigger releases, Harar Mahadev and the Ram Setu on Diwali, and then followed by a lot of movies in December, especially the Avatar and Ganpat and Circus. So the pipeline is looking very promising. I don't think we should look at the quarter-on-quarter situation, because it will be plus and minuses which will keep on happening. But if you see the full year basis, I think we are there, and we are hopeful that the full year will be definitely a growth year as compared to the previous quarters or previous years.
So what could be, again I go back to that same point, since we are discussing it and we all pretty much know that the 15th August weekend, which was a long weekend, did not do very well for multiplexes. That's because of the content. So if you have to compare Q1 Q versus Q2, assuming that there is no large, apart from Brahmastra, no large release in the month of September, what could be the deviation? Because when we spoke to Inox and PVR and we were analyzing the Q1 numbers, they were jumping with joy. I mean, every movie did very well for them.
Certainly, the deviation is going to be significant in terms of the overall number. While I can't discuss the numbers at this point of time, but the significant difference as compared to the Q1 performance, and definitely it will so revenue will be definitely lower than what we have seen already, and the pressure will be there on the margins and everything.
The new screen launches and new screen additions, what you are planning for FY23, is this independent of what PVR would be doing, or this is in consideration that the merger will go through and you'll have to rain down on your expansion plans?
No, no, I'm talking purely from Inox perspective at this point of time. As of now, merger is in the process, so it will take its own sweet time before we get all the regulatory approvals. So I'm not counting on that.
FY24, by that time I'm assuming somewhere in FY24 the merger would happen. So let's say
Oh,
692 screens have
yeah.
become, that number is 700 plus. So in FY24, because the entity becomes one, I'm sure you would not like to compete also. Not, I mean, PVR and Inox would not like to compete when they are one. Would you be going slow on your expansion plans? Would you be going different in terms of your content strategy?
Not really, not really, because we are very confident on the business and business model both. And cinema exhibition business, as you know, that is continues to be performed. It is performing on a continuous basis for last so many years, and we are hoping that it will continue to perform. So we are not going slow on our expansion. I think it will continue with aggression in the future as well. We are already generating enough cash to fund this growth, and will continue to do so in future as well.
Yes, Kailash, and also wanted to get a sense from you. Are you looking at some sort of price rollbacks to kind of spur the demand, given the fact you're talking about that footfalls have been under pressure? And also, there's pressure on account of the competition coming in from the OTT platforms.
No, so pricing is always very dynamic. In our industry, it is never, it's a fixed price tag which, work. So price changes with the movie to movie, weekday to weekend, and the morning to evening. So this is already there. I mean, if a movie doesn't perform, of course, the pricing is going to be not so blockbuster. It will move to maybe a popular price or a lower price, and that is being followed, since long. So this is not something new. So of course, the moment the content doesn't perform, the prices immediately come down or correct, on the next show itself.
Is this the trend that you are seeing? Because of course this will hit your margins in the long term. And could you tell us about the ad growth trajectory? Because what we understand is that advertising spend is coming down. Is that something that you're witnessing as well?
Advertisement, as you know, that we were at 65% in the first quarter, and as compared to the pre-COVID, and that is still maintained on those lines only. I mean, it's still not picked up. We are expecting that the festive season is coming up, and it is likely to go up, but it may take a quarter or two, before we reach to the pre-COVID level.
Okay, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much, Kailash, for taking the time out and speaking with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.